All right, hey, we're live back here. Cowboys schedule release is live. We are up, ready to go. D, it's we're back, baby.
Yes, we are. It is quite a difference of leadership, and we talk about you can walk into a restaurant, anything you go, a company walk in, everything starts from the top. I remember going to a little restaurant in North Carolina down in Wilmington, and I didn't see no smiles on people's faces. I saw the manager. I had one of the waitresses come over to me and just spill her guts out and said, "Nobody's happy here." I go, I can tell.
Yeah.
So here we are with a different head coach and a different feeling coming in.
Yeah, things just seem to be different. Yeah. We sense something's different in the way he interacts with players. And it's not, we were saying before, it's not buddy-buddy like it was with Jason Garrett and Jason Witten. It's not Camp Cupcake like it was with Wade Phillips. It's something totally different right now. And, we seem to be on a different path. Shoddy has drafted guys like Tyler Booker, for instance, who love football and all they want to do is play football. And everyone, all they say about him is he is the leader. He's the leader. So it's not Jason Garrett's right kind of guy either. It is that he is dedicated to football alone. All they want to do is play football. All they want to do is hit. All they want to do is win, which is why I don't mind the George Pickens trade, to go back to that from our last one, because I think a lot of his frustrations is he was able to do more. No one could give him the football, which ticked him off, which set him in a bad place mentally. And I think he'll grow from there. But I think the Cowboys are doing the right thing with the players they're bringing in. Coach.
It's a contemporary athlete you have to deal with in a wide receiver thing. Each one, they always bring up Des Bryant. And Des Bryant was, listen, did he hold the plane up in England for the hour? Absolutely, and stuff. But did he go on the sideline screaming and yelling that they know our plays? He was wrong at one spot and right in the other spot.
Right.
Simple as that.
Right. Well, the Cowboys have seen their schedule, and it is definitely not an easy one. But in the same vein, we really don't know what easy or not easy will look like come the season. We can always project, and then injuries happen, teams fall out. Like, it's not the same as it used to be. There's going to be teams that come up, and there's going to be teams that fall off the face of the earth. So everything we're predicting now is not going to be what it looks like at the end of the year. So let's start with the over-under for the Cowboys, 7.5. 7.5 wins for this season. And to be quite frank, I'm just from a talent standpoint, from where I think they're at, what they've been doing, I have to spam, hit hard, slam, run to the table. If I were a betting man, I might run myself to Vegas to place money on the over for 7.5 wins.
I'm gonna go 10-6. I can see him
17 games now.
Oh,
10-7 or 11-6.
11-6.
Micah Parsons said they're a 12-win team plus.
Did he really?
He said he sees 12 wins on there. Now, a lot of people are predicting they lose both times to the Eagles, they lose both times to the Redskins, and split with the Giants, so that they'd be 1-5 in the division. Right. I see them more. I could see sweeping the Giants, splitting with the Commanders, and splitting with the Eagles. And that gets them 4 wins in the division, 4-2. So now you need 4 other wins the rest of your season. Can they get 4 other wins outside the division? Absolutely. Can they beat the Bears in Soldier Field? I think they can. Mm-hmm. Can they beat the Packers at home? Well, they're going to have to figure that one out, baby. Can they beat the Giants in New York?
Jets, yeah. Yep.
The Jets, excuse me.
Jets in Carolina, yeah.
Carolina, can they beat them? Yes. Denver Broncos, a good game. Can they beat the Cardinals? Yes, I think they can.
Yeah.
Off the bye week at Las Vegas, I still think they can beat them, though I think they will be substantially improved. The Chiefs and Lions are not 2 hard games, but I think they have the offense now with Pickens to be able to hang in there. I'm not saying they're definite wins, but I'm not instantly chalking them up to losses either. Minnesota. We don't know what Minnesota is going to be this year with J.J. McCarthy. The Chargers. The Cowboys have played them tough the last couple of years, and they beat them in recent history.
Well, Minnesota's home, right?
Right. Minnesota is home, and so are the Chargers.
Yeah.
So I think they have at least 10 wins on there if everybody's healthy. Dak is 15 months away from playing MVP caliber football. That's not easy to do. He got hurt. If they have a respectable defense and now they have the weapons around him, they should be a difficult team to beat. I'm not suggesting they are Super Bowl favorites. I'm not suggesting they're even Super Bowl contenders. But
Aikman does.
Really?
Aikman said it, yeah. He should have gone to Super Bowl.
To suggest that they're a 7-win team, that they're under 7.5,
yeah, it's a little anti-Cowboy.
7-11.
That's a little anti-Cowboy.
The NFL rankings. Someone came up with NFL rankings today that said Dak was the 17th best quarterback in the NFL. You can't rank Dak that high because he doesn't win the playoffs. Show me where Geno Smith and Justin Herbert have won in the playoffs. He's by far better than Dak. Is a top 10 quarterback in the NFL. He's better than Brock Purdy, guys. He's better than Brock Purdy, who just signed a mega contract extension.
Yeah, I think he's better than Brock Purdy myself. Yeah.
Again, he played at an MVP caliber level a couple of years ago, and that's the Dak you can expect.
He came second MVP.
Yeah, only to Lamar, who had a great year.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Second.
I think he is capable when healthy, and I'm not suggesting he's in that Mahomes or Josh Allen stratosphere or Lamar Jackson or Joe Burrow. I think those are the top 4 at the moment quarterbacks.
And everybody's second.
I think everyone else. I think he's in that next tier.
He's better than Hurts.
I think individually he's better than Hurts.
Of course he is.
Because Hurts plays. And listen, you're penalizing Hurts for playing in a great system. So we've seen Hurts. It's not like Jalen Hurts last year in the playoffs was putting up 300 yards per game. He was throwing about 160 in the playoffs. He had a great team. Defense played well. They beat the snot out of the Chiefs' offense. Hurts didn't have to do much, but he also didn't do much, and that's with 2 excellent receivers, the best running back in football, the best offensive line in football. And I don't think he's better than Dak Prescott. I don't think he's as accurate. I don't think he has the throwing ability of Dak Prescott. That's not to suggest he's bad. I still think Hurts is a top 10 quarterback in the NFL.
Have Hurts ever thrown for 30 touchdowns? No. There you go. End of it right there. He's never and he's got the cheapest 2-yard, 1-yard touchdowns.
Right. Last year, in 15 games, he had 18 touchdowns and 2,900 yards. Like, those are not great stats. You say, oh, well, he won.
Right.
Great. He's still his career high for touchdowns is 23.
No, come on.
Right. Like, that's just not in the same stratosphere as Dak, who's 36, 37. Dak led the league in touchdowns 2 years ago, completions 2 years ago. The 1 year Dak threw the 15 picks. A lot of those balls are bounced around. Dak threw almost 5,000 yards back in 2019.
And he got Rookie of the Year.
Right. So I think Dak is a better quarterback. Dak played 8 games last year and had 11 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
So he missed 9 of them and had 7 less touchdown passes. And and had 1,000 less yards over just 8 games or 9 games he didn't play. So I'm not. Dak is a better quarterback. Is he 5? We can argue that. Is he 6 through 10? I would have no problem with that.
Right.
So that's having the Cowboys, having Dak 17th is stupid. Let's look it up right here.
Yeah. Of course it is.
Was it PFF? Yeah, having it, Jaden Daniels to have up there, maybe, having Dak Prescott below Trevor Lawrence, Kyler Murray.
No.
Come on, Baker Mayfield.
No.
Geno Smith.
No.
Jared Goff, Justin Herbert, Matthew Stafford right now.
No.
Stafford a couple years ago, 4 or 5 years ago, sure, not now. Now, if you wanted to put Jaden Daniels, but we'll see. I mean, he had an excellent rookie year. The second year when they scout you, it's a different beast. So what's going to happen now that his He's been scouted. And we saw guys like Colin Kaepernick, RG3, plenty of guys take a significant step back in their second year. So we'll see what happens. I'm intrigued to see where Dallas goes, what they do, what this offseason continues to look like. Do they add any other pieces or any other veterans they can add out there? Does someone get cut that they feel they can add? So, again, swinging on the George Pickens trade was huge.
Well, it definitely, how should I say this? It's like tasting something that just something's missing. What is it? Is it salt? Is it oregano? Is the garlic salt that we want? What is it? And you go, oh yeah, let me add a little salt. And you put the salt in and you go, oh, that's it. That's it. Because when Dak comes to the line of scrimmage now, he looks the whole field over.
Yep.
He'll see single coverage somewhere, and guess who's getting the ball? And by the way, let's address this number one issue. This let me give you a Michael Irvin illustration. Supposedly, Michael Irvin and Alvin Harper switch positions on that big third down play against the 49ers. He did it purposely. And guess what? Harper got the mismatch and Aikman threw it to the open receiver.
Yep.
That's my case. And ask Michael Irvin, Michael, would you want to win with one catch or lose with 10?
Yeah.
You got your answer. They don't care. Number one, behind the scenes, you know what they want? They want to make sure they're catching the ball and they're winning. They want to win.
Right. And I think, to me, I look at George Pickens and I think that was the issue. He felt that by getting the ball more, they would win more. I don't feel like that was with every diva wide receivers out there. They want the ball because they want their stats. He wants the ball so they can win. I feel like now he's going to be in Dallas. He has a legitimate deep ball quarterback in Dak Prescott who will get him the ball.
Who's the point guard with the Pistons that won the championship?
Chauncey Billups.
Chauncey Billups said, look, Carmelo Anthony, all he cared was about numbers. There you go. So they are athletes like that. They are.
Of course.
He's the one who said it. He said, oh, yeah, he'd lose a game as long as Anthony got his 30. He didn't care.
So,
and he's a great player, Anthony.
The question we always come to is, what can the Cowboys do differently in the playoffs? They get to the playoffs, and they suck. They stink. They've been putrid too many times. They come to a big game, and they just get absolutely rolled up.
Not mentally tough. That is the answer to all. Not the X's and O's. Mentally tough.
So you have to peak in the playoffs. Physically, you're not going to peak in the playoffs, right? As a football player, you're not going to be physically the best you'll be. You'll be the best now, but we know everybody is dinged up. Everybody's hurt. Everyone's playing with something in the playoffs. So that can't be what it is. What it has to be is that mindset, that mentality that I'm going to outwork, I'm going to out tough, I'm going to put out on so much more effort and energy and be consistent. You know, back in the mid-'80s, we were talking about this earlier, Pat Riley instituted something called the career best effort. And it tracked all the way back through high school, all of their players and the effort plays, what they could get and what it looked like, and focused on identifying how players could improve their effort on the court. Now, the good players in the NBA at that time, they'd have about 600 of those points per week. All-stars in the NBA at that time had about 800 points per week. And he would track the league leaders in position daily as the week would go on. And Magic Johnson that year was averaging about 1,000 points per week in effort plays. And they would track their numbers. They would have comparison year by year and ask the player, how can you improve by 1% today over what you did yesterday? And that's the beauty of 1%. How can I get 1% better and build and compound and continue to get better by the year end? Even though I'm not physically better, can I be a better player? And that's what the Cowboys have been missing. They don't get better in week 20. They are best at week 12 when they beat the Saints in their undefeated season or whatever year that was, right? Yeah. They get best at week 14 when they mollywall up the Eagles late in the season, whatever it was. They're not peaking at the right time. And I'm hoping that Shoddy can bring in a different mentality and change when they peak, because they're peaking way too early, and then they run into a Packers team or a Rams team or whatever team it is, and they get sent home.
And those teams are beatable. That's the thing.
Yeah, they weren't
right.
world champions and unbeatable teams.
Right, because even go back to the first Cowboy Super Bowl per se. In the year before, the Lions beat him bad. Jimmy Johnson goes over, gets out the next draft. Defensive backs, Larry Brown, Kevin Smith. He got corners, and they moved on.
Right.
Yep.
So where did they go? Now we're starting to see a different mentality right now with the beginning of camp as their guys are coming in. Tyler Booker is already starting at right guard. They're not doing this silly thing like you have to earn the start. You're with the backups. Like Booker's the starting right guard. He is there immediately. Tyler Guyton, who everyone seems to say looks like he's in better shape. He got bigger and stronger. He might weigh the same, but his body type, his physique is already starting to transform at left tackle. They're not playing around. They're not wasting time. Oh, you have to earn your stripes. George Pickens, as CeeDee Lamb said, we're both wide receiver one.
Mm-hmm.
So they seem to be on the same page as well. You were saying Jake Ferguson has come in and slimmed down. And
he got bigger.
Excuse me, he got bigger. He got bigger.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a different atmosphere going on. These guys realize, forget that, folks. These guys realize that they have to do something, and they're going to do something because what's happening so far is unacceptable. If you want to win, you have to change what they're doing because you haven't been winning by doing what you've been doing.
Listen, it is the new chef in the kitchen.
Yeah,
the new chef in the kitchen.
That's $1 million question.
Yeah.
Is he going to cook well? You know, the previous guys have done well enough.
He got it. He got his other assistant cooks there, whatever they call them.
The sous chefs.
He got all the cooks. Top line. Is it going to be a 5-star restaurant or a 3-star restaurant?
Right, because we've had 3-star. We've had great regular seasons, and we get to the playoffs, and then we poop our pants.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and then it come out, and then we don't play well. So what's going to happen going forward? How do they change what has been? It looks like so far this fits Shoddy well. He seems to have watched his dad enough, been understood enough. This looks like it might be his shot. You know, whether or not we wanted this whole thing to be perfect, you know, we wanted this to be the guy or the way that we found the guy. What he's done so far, I've enjoyed.
I got a comparison. What I see, if I don't remember exactly who the father's quarterbacks were, but I think Shoddy has a better quarterback to deal with to bring him there. Yes, I think because Andy Reid struggled with the Eagles to make himself known. He got into one championship, but he didn't play well in the playoffs until he got a great quarterback. Dak can do it. You're not asking. He has the pieces. He has the defense. Now, again, everything's on paper. We're going to find out what the chef is all about. We're going to open up. You're going to open up and have the great atmosphere, and people are going to sit down and eat and go, boy, this stuff is ugh. We'll see.
Yeah, it's an opportunity for him to put up or shut up, and it's an opportunity for Jerry Jones to finally get out of the same rut that they've been in. The same thing that they've been in, the same. So the draft, to me, seemed like they had a whole different view on how things were going and where they planned to be. We will see. We'll see. I mean, there's nothing else we could do but wait and see right now. If they get healthy, if Sam Williams is healthy, DeMarvion Overshown is healthy, Trayvon Diggs is healthy, if these guys can make it healthy into the season.
If you go back for the last two drafts, night and day.
Yeah, I agree.
Night and day. It's like, this is, wow. Night and day. Free agents, night and day. Running backs.
Trades.
All of it. Night and day. Completely night and day of the flipping around. Yep. Look what Joe Gibbs takes over that team, and boom. The rest is history.
Right.
I think they finished the year out when he took over like 5-1, 6-1. Immediately, boom. And I want the Eagles' first game, and that's it. Then you punch them right in their mouths, and you move on from there. One game at a time, one knockout at a time. That's how you become champ. You win one after one after one until you get your title belt, and then that's you lift up the belt.
Right. Right. Remember,
you can't win a championship the first game.
Correct. Well, listen, I know this is Shoddy's first time, but it feels to me similar to we say it as if he's a champion, but what I mean is the feeling when the Yankees hired Joe Torre, and I remember when they hired Joe Torre as a kid, they ripped the Joe Torre hire.
They did.
And I mean, he'd been fired by the Cardinals the year before.
Yep.
Right. And you know, they, I mean, ripped that firing up and down. And he takes over for Buck Showalter, who is an incredible baseball mind. And they had all this young talent, and they're like, well, what's Joe Torre going to be able to do?
And some people still rip him, by the way.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
And he ends up going on this absolutely insane run, one of the best teams ever. I mean, even in 2004 when they lost to the Red Sox, they're a 101-win team.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that was their third straight year of 100-plus wins. They weren't just a good team. They were a great team. He takes over. They go 92 wins, 96, 114, 98, 87 in 2000. Then go 95, 103, 101, 101 again. I mean, 2006, they still have 97 wins. I mean, that's a great run. That's a great run. And they hated the signing.
Yep.
They hated it. Now, can Schottenheimer be Joe Torre? Who amongst us wouldn't want him to be Joe Torre? But can we see a lot of people where I wasn't happy with the Schottenheimer pick.
No, I wasn't either.
I wasn't happy. But he has shown why they hired him.
Maybe that's a good sign.
Right. This guy we've been all happy them picking the last few times.
How many coaches won you weren't happy with the hire?
Right.
They ended up winning.
Right. And we will see what happens now. We'll see. I mean, this is the Cowboys off season. What they do, they piss us off after they lose. They get upset. We get annoyed. And then they bring us right back in, but they've done a better job this year.
As Nate Newman said, and I've said it before. Nate Newman said you got to be a little lucky. The Eagles were lucky. They got AJ Brown. They were lucky they got Carter because nobody wanted him. They were lucky, and you needed that ingredient. AJ Brown is,
Listen, luck is part of the game. Jason Garrett said they were going to draft Drew Stanton. Someone picks Stanton, they get Dak Prescott. Luck is part of how you get as Aruke in the second round and Ravel in the third. Like luck is part of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's part of the game. It's part of how Brady gets the tuck rule called. It's luck. It's part of the game. People are realizing that championship. Their long snapper for the Patriots actually got hurt late in the season. They had to call up a guy who was teaching high school at a Christian academy and got a call from the principal. Belichick wanted to call him up and like, I need you to long snap the rest of the year. He goes, I have to ask my wife, who was also teaching at the school. I had to go ask her. She was like, go do it. But the week of the Super Bowl, he gets the yips. He was skipping balls all week.
Really?
They're so nervous. I was just reading It's Better to Be Feared by Seth Wickersham, and all week he was skipping balls. He said, I'm going to blow this Super Bowl for us. I cannot do it. And the last one, the Vinatieri field goal, Teddy Bruschi says he's waiting for two sounds, which would have been a scuffed ball and then the whole kick. He said, I only heard one, and I knew it was going to go in. The one play he needed to, he nailed it. Belichick said, he almost killed me. A little long snapper, but that's it. You need a little luck.
Well, Robert Newhouse throwing the ball. They didn't work the whole practice the whole week.
Right.
Didn't work the whole week. Not even close the whole week. And Newhouse gets it done.
Think about watching the TV and seeing the Bills run a very specific formation they haven't run all week too.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? It's just like, we just happen to have the TV on now.
Just have it. Yeah, those guys. Davis picked up on it and told Jimmy Johnson about it.
So it's interesting that you just need a little luck, and maybe they lucked in a Brian Schottenheimer, and you say, well, you're really hoping on luck here.
Yeah.
I'm just saying how it could be. We got to change something, man. We got to run something for it to change up, or we're gonna put some anointing oil on the Cowboys or something. Something has to change, and if we have to use luck to get it, we'll get it.
We'll get it. That's all.
We gotta do what we gotta do. Yeah. I'm ready for this Cowboys season. Give me a number. How many wins they can? How many wins they can?
I think they can go 11-6.
Okay.
Yeah, I see 11-6.
I can see 10-7.
Yeah, 11-6. Yeah.
So I could say 10. I'm going now. I have my big article that comes out every year on Designated Report before the season. I pick every single game, and then I give you a breakdown of every team's quarterback, their schedule, who they are, what's a big game of their schedule, an X factor, all these different things. And then I'm wrong. And sometimes I'm right, and most of the times I'm wrong. The only difference between me and the other guys who mistakenly make bad picks is, I'll be honest with you, say, hey, I messed up. I didn't make a good pick. That's the way it goes. And that'll be out come August before the season starts. It'll actually probably be out early September. Started picking games, started picking, things, but there's still movement to happen in the offseason. There's still injuries to happen. All those things change how you feel. So I pick the games and start to slate out the article, and then some stuff changes and you have to go back and adjust and whatever. But quarterbacks are in place for most teams unless you're the Steelers. The Steelers really feel like they're going to go with Mason Rudolph or Aaron Rodgers. So good luck, man.
Is Rodgers? Is he on the team?
Not yet, but they feel confident that he will.
That's ridiculous. Come on, ridiculous.
We'll see what happens. At least Cowboys have a quarterback, and they have 2 wide receivers now.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll see what Ferguson does with the healthy Dak. See what the running backs can do behind a revamped offensive line. I'm ready.
It is the year of the draft. They flipped it back. Now, we'll see what you said. Your point is, do they get better as the year goes on? Your best ball is at the end of the year.
Has to be. Has to be.
At the end of the year. It's always one game at a time. But again, Pickens' deal is a big break for the team. For the team. It helps that whole team. Because it's interesting because Dallas won with Emmitt Smith controlling the line of scrimmage. And they played off that. And that's what and it made the defense better. Pickens allows you to put points on the board and allows that defense to get after the quarterback. Simple.
Yeah.
That's how you play it. Yeah.
Now they're an offense that can score 30 points on you. They were not last year. But with Pickens, they're able to unpack the box. They are able to go deep. Another receiver who can get the ball and be physical and get his own and continue with yards after catch.
Well, it means the safeties are staying home. You know what that means? You're going to run the football and Ferguson over the middle.
Yeah, it opens up the whole offense and will probably help that defense. If the Cowboys, who have really tried to, rebuild the defensive line as much as they could this year, I mean, if they can get some out of Dante Fowler Jr. and the other guys they have, Sam Williams, he can give you something. If Ezraku gives you something at the end, and Marshawn Nealon can put something together. If Osa continues to play as he has or continues to improve, wow, that's a team. With Murray and Sanborn and Overshone, Clark, James, Leofau, they've got some depth in the linebacking core now. I'm not suggesting they have the best linebacking core in football. We were saying their linebackers last year were not. It was not great.
No, not at all. Last year was no. They have flipped the switch completely. The Pickens bring that size, ability, and the play calling. It's in Dak's hands. Is Brian Schottenheimer going to let Dak Ottawa out of place?
He should. See, Dak's one of the best pre-snap players, quarterbacks in football. And any guys will tell you that. Dan Orlovsky, all of them know. Dak's one of the best. Probably he's up there as the best. One of top 3 at worst.
Yeah.
Pre-snap. He has the intelligence. He knows the game. You get guys in motion. He is going to pick you apart. Allow him to flow in that and see what happens. Give him an opportunity. Allow him to play to his strengths. Allow him to play to his strengths. We know what he's good at. Let him exploit that rather than continue to suffer and just continue to be bland and boring and blah. Like, we have to put the ball in his hands, let it work out, and go for goals. Like, just go for it. Gotta change something up now. Can't continue doing the same garbage you've been doing every time.
Look at the defensive line front. Look at that front. Look at the defensive line front. Look what you got.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Bill Spence says the audible letting Dak always build up the relationship between Dak and Shoddy.
Yeah.
I want to take a quick break and talk about coffee for a second. Because we're Cowboys and coffee. We don't do enough coffee, I feel like.
Right.
This is a coffee tip from you from a former coffee master and someone who's just in coffee. The darker the roast of coffee you get, the less caffeine you get. The lighter roast of coffee you get, the more caffeine. So a blonde roast or a light roast,
yes,
has more caffeine.
It's crazy how that is. Yeah.
Now there's that effect where like you just feel that it's true, so you do it.
Yeah.
Right. I want the dark stuff. I want the strong stuff. The strongest coffee will be the lightest roast. So when you're going to go get a coffee, if you need a little extra jolt, I'm just a little tired, get the light roast.
I got that stuff from North Carolina. I gotta show you.
I want to see it.
Yeah.
Blonde espresso will have more caffeine than regular espresso. It might taste a little lighter and it will be faint. It won't be a huge difference. But, some dark roast coffees like a French roast is super dark. It's oily. It's almost fishy with how strong it is. That has like the least caffeine content of probably any lineup you're going to be looking at.
Yeah, that's something.
Oh, I need an Italian roast, nice and strong. Well, Italian roast, at least at Starbucks back in the day, was super dark roast, less caffeine. Could almost be a cup's worth difference, shots worth difference of how much you're taking in if you need that extra hit. So if you need the extra coffee, and Cowboys and coffee, we've got to give you some love here.
Yep.
Get the blonde roast if you need a little extra something. If you're just looking for a good, strong flavor, whatever, do your thing, right? African coffees.
Like button, subscribe.
Like, share, subscribe for us. And we're looking to continue our grow our base here of what's going on. We had our coffee like 20 minutes before we jumped on here, so close to an hour ago. And I've been up with these boys for a few days.
How many boys you got?
3.
You got 3. I got 3.
So
3.
I got 3. You got how many?
What? How many I got?
Yeah.
4.
Here we go. 3 plus me.
3 plus you.
So Spen, you're there. We love you.
Yeah.
That's number 2. But you're really number 3.
Yeah. And he's got 3 girls. We're going to find out what the 4th one is.
I know. We're ready for, is this a boy or girl already? Like, holy cow, hurry up and let us know.
Yeah, we got to get going on.
Do I get to be an aunt or an uncle? What's going on here?
Yeah.
So let's figure this out. But yeah, if you're looking for coffee, that's my tip of the day. You want the extra caffeine, get the lighter. Part of the decaffeination process when you're decaffeinating coffee is roasting it longer. Sometimes they'll use electrolysis to fill with water, shock it, and take out some of the things that have the caffeine connected to it. One of them is to roast your coffee longer and you'll be less caffeinated.
I'm still shocked about chocolate not really coming to America till the early 1900s.
It's not indigenous around here.
Yeah.
South America.
Yeah.
So you see, you're enjoying me here.
Yeah.
When we're talking about the movement of agriculture, it's much easier to move east to west than it is north to south.
Really?
Because east to west, you have these striations of of climates that stay the same because they're on the same point of the equator. So they can move from Eastern Asia all the way over towards Europe because it's the same type of climate. Moving from South America to North America, the difference between look at North America alone, the difference between Florida and Canada.
Yeah.
You ain't growing oranges in Canada. You're not. And likewise, you're not growing any coffee in Canada either because it only grows between the Tropic of Cancer and the Tropic of Capricorn. It only grows within the coffee belt. But above or below those, you don't get anything.
Well, Italy's the same way in a smaller frame of it.
Correct.
Yeah.
So we know there's a big difference between Maine and Florida. Sure. Now imagine the difference between even Connecticut and Ecuador, right? At the equator, literally right there, like almost heaven. And then Argentina down south. There's a huge difference between the poles as opposed to east to west, which is why you can have a big difference in what you're growing from place to place. So, yeah, that's your little. If you're looking for the best coffee, Jamaica Blue Mountain is a pretty safe one. Like there's Kopi Luwak, which is eaten by like some small animal and pooped out.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Over $100 a pound for that. I've never had it, but I would.
Yeah,
I would try it. They also have a thing called Black Ivory, which is the same thing out of a rhino. How'd you like?
They have the elephant one.
How'd you like to be the person to harvest that?
Yeah, they have the one with the elephant. They have the one with the elephant.
Yeah, good stuff. No thanks.
Yeah,
no thanks. I'll drink it on this side. I'm not going to do the harvesting of it though. So yeah, that is that. Give me one player before we go and wrap up. Give me a player who you think is on the roster hot spot who maybe most people don't think about. Like, yeah, Ryan Flournoy, sure, he probably is on the line. Paris Campbell, sure. Is there someone you see on the Cowboys roster who might not make the roster who people are maybe assume just will?
I'm not a Mozzie Smith fan.
That's an interesting point. Mozzie Smith.
I'm not a Mozzie Smith. I think they have better players than that. Will they cut him? That's it. That's the thing. They'll see. He better have a good camp. He got to have a good camp. They're not going to have. They're not going to bring guys around unless they're doing something.
So I mean, it's probably too easy to say like Deuce Vaughn or Miles Sanders.
Yeah.
Deuce Vaughn, I don't think there's any spot for him. You drafted two running backs.
That's an easy one. Yeah.
Spence said Deuce Vaughn. It's a nice story, but let's be done.
Yeah.
Right.
I kind of pushed him a little bit, but no.
We try. He just maybe he'll stick somewhere else, but it's not going to work here. What I'm gonna, if I have to pick a guy and say, oh yeah, that could be the guy, but he might not make the roster. Damone Clark, because Eberflus ain't going to take that as a D coordinator, the inconsistency, because he has physical tools.
Yeah, I don't know if he's a special teams guy. Mazzie's not special teams.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But if you're only good, they might only keep 5 linebackers on the roster. Damone Clark might be the odd man out. And now with Overshown maybe being back in time, he should be back in time for the season. It shouldn't be a problem. Now, he might not. And Spencer Eberflus might be able to unlock his potential. He might, because he has the physical tools. And with Overshown out early in camp, he should have the ability, the time to get some reps in there and show something. But they drafted Shamar James. They got Leofau last year, who's very smart. I think could fit in this system. They signed Sanborn and Murray Jr. Don't be surprised if Damone Clark is the odd man out looking in.
Yeah, that's a good one.
But Mozzie's a good one too. Yeah, I don't see Deuce Vaughn making it past that second preseason game.
No.
He's not making the final cuts. You know what I mean? I don't think there's any way with Javonte Williams and Miles Sanders taking the initial run, Jaden Blue and Phil Maffa. I could see Maffa starting on the practice squad and making his way, but I think it's either Javonte or Miles Sanders. I don't think both make it to the starting day lineup, the game one lineup, because I think they run with the 2 rookies. I told you they were picking 2 running backs.
You called it. You kept saying that. And I said 2 wide receivers.
So
yeah, and they really didn't do any. They didn't pick a wide receiver.
Right. So we will see what Trayshawn Holden does as that rookie wide receiver. Can John Stevens Jr. come in and play well? He's finally healthy again. They like his talent. Brevin Spanford, he so far is looking really well. We'll see what the Cowboys can do and make out of this situation so far.
Sounds good.
You got anything else you want to say?
Nope. We'll be in Boston Friday.
Yeah, we'll be at the Red Sox game this Friday, hanging out, doing our thing. Subscribe, like, follow us. We talk Cowboys. We're really talking Cowboys now every Wednesday here. And we could try to pump out content for you as much as possible. We have RJ Ochoa lined up soon to talk with us from Blogging the Boys and see where we're going with the Cowboys into the season. We have a few other things that we have lined up and ready to go.
And RJ, I'm going to ask him the question. It's a very simple question. Why are we all happy?
It's a great question.
Why are we all happy?
It's a great question. Like, share, subscribe. You can find us here on YouTube. You can find us on Designated Report. You can find us all over the place, baby. We're everywhere. And we will, we have a lot of stuff coming for the new season for the Dallas Cowboys.
Absolutely.
This one I'm dedicating to cousin Richie Cortez.
Yes.
We think about you. We love you. We miss you. We're praying for you.
Yes.
We haven't forgot about you at all. And we'll We
Great
hope you
man.
get a good
Great
time
man.
listening to this. We know better days are ahead for you. So, yeah, it's been a rough week for a lot of people health wise out
Yes.
there. You know, a little boy named Jackson is going through a brain cancer. We're praying for him too.
Yes.
It's been a tough time, but I tell you, Jesus hasn't forgotten about any of these people. So he
Yeah.
loves you. He's still here for you. And that's my little shindig at the end of Cowboys and Coffee.
Yeah.
So, listen, D, I love you.
Love you.
Sven, we love you.
Thanks, Spence.
Yeah, let me know. We're waiting for a boy or girl, so let us know, please, what you're having, so we can figure it out. I hope you guys have a great thing. Find us, Designated Report, online, on Instagram, Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. And Cowboys and Coffee is back next week talking about whatever we're going to talk about. I'm sure Jerry Jones, Spence says next week he'll find out where they get the results.
Okay.
I'm sure we'll have something Jerry Jones
we
says
make
about
enough
next
of
week.
that.
So there you go.
If we got permission.
Yeah. All right. Have a good one. Peace.